Brighton running out 3-1 winners.
Yeah, look, I mean, I did our preview on the United stand and I said, look, you know what? I'm just going to own it. Like, they are favourites. I thought we would win because United, you never know. But I said Brighton, they're better. I mean, look, Man United are where they are because they're not very good. Like, we're 13th. We've been 13th for weeks. You know, I've seen Arsenal in the bottom half, Chelsea for a week or two, and you go, they'll be out there in no time. We've been there for, most of the season because Fulham, Brentford, Brighton, Bournemouth, Forest, they're all better than us. And Brighton yesterday, I mean, they had a goal disallowed, which it was a foul, but it was lucky. We had one shot on goal, which was a penalty at Old Trafford. And, the most creative player for us was the referee. We were looking for him to give us another penalty. It was like, that was the only way we were going to score. So credit to Brighton, you've got to say that. But from a United point of view, I've got to say for the first time I looked at the relegation zone and I don't believe
relegation zone.
Yeah, no, I don't believe it. But, you just have to have a little check. When you're driving in your car and you've gone past a knobhead on the motorway, you just check back to see if they're going to come back. And I was like looking at relegation last night and I went, no, we're 10 points ahead. We've got 26, I think. I don't see Ipswich or Leicester getting 36. So, no, that won't happen. But that's how bad we are, Robbie. That's how bad. Yeah, that's how bad we are. We are so bad.
So you agree with him? Worst ever Manchester United team. In all the years you've been watching Man United, is this the worst ever?
I think it's close between when Rangnick was here because the players down tools there, they fell out. It was very, very toxic. But there are similarities because Rangnick said, he was just really honest with the fans. He was like, we need open heart surgery. They're not good enough. They're not good enough to play the way I want to play. This club needs massive change. I think Amorim is basically doing the same, but in a more clever way because I'll ask you, but my thoughts are that for a manager to come out and say this is the worst ever team when he's lost 8 out of 10, that takes balls, I think. And I think what he's basically saying is, look, I'll take responsibility. I'm the manager, but this team ain't good enough. And what's going above me ain't good enough. So, yeah, I'll take responsibility. But the reality is, I look at it and I just think there's a lot more of these results to come, Robbie, definitely. Like, you'll beat us easily at Old Trafford.
I look on it, though, and say to myself, you're in charge. All right, I know you may not have inherited what you want to inherit, and there's a lot that you want to improve, obviously. But 8 out of 10 defeats in the league or in since you've come in, that's really, really poor, isn't it? And why is it that they're able to get up for, Arsenal away, Liverpool away, but then when it's your bread and butter, they can't? And again, it's also, I have to just, again, look at that system, 3 at the back system. When you're playing against a team like Brighton, that like midfield-wise, they rampage around with 3 players in there and you've only got 2, aren't you putting yourself at serious risk?
Yeah, but I do agree with you. But you know what? To coin an analogy, it's a little bit like, when you go out for a night out with your best mates and you're up for it, and then the missus says we're off around the mother-in-laws. It's not quite the same, is it? And I think United, when it's Arsenal, it's like this is a big game, and it's not an excuse for a professional footballer paid that amount of money to put a Man United shirt or an Arsenal shirt. The fans pay their money. The ticket prices have just gone up to watch this rubbish at United, so I get that, but. The question I would throw to everybody watching and you, Robbie, is like, yeah, I get it, but I as a United fan, I don't look at he's not picking Casemiro and Rashford. That's not a mistake. They've had their chance. That's not going to make any difference. The only thing is, does he change a formation? But I just think, well, look, that's only it's not going to put us in the top 4. It might put us in the top half, but he was brought in to play a certain system, and I would rather we stuck with it than go back to a system that suits these crap players because they want to play a back 4 and counter-attack. I don't think United fans want to see that. So I'm actually in this situation now, whereas I would rather it just keep getting worse until something happens because it can't get much worse. And I don't want to grind out draws or that against Fulham next week. I'd rather we just went down this road and we need change. I look at what Man City have done in this January transfer window. Pep's had a bad month. Let's get the checkbook out. I mean, United have spent a lot of money, but they've spent it badly. We've not had a left back for 18 months. You can't. I know we're going to talk about Arsenal, and you saw you at the weekend having to put players in positions that they're not used to. I can't believe a club of Man United stature think it's okay not to have a left back for 18 months. It's a fundamental balance of your team.
Yeah,